Welcome to Scissors and Scrubs after our little summer break. I'm Nicole.
I'm Laura.
We are back in business. We had taken a lovely vacation to Spain.
Yes.
And now we are back, and it is
still
Labor
there.
Day weekend. I wish I was there too. It was so unexpectedly nice.
It was so nice.
I didn't think I'd like it, and I loved every minute of it. So we are kicking off on Labor Day weekend, and I just moved my daughter. My second child has now exited my home. So we decided to cover anxiety and depression.
Yes.
Because
That's what happens.
I'm not anxious, I'm depressed.
I'm always anxious.
And Laura's always anxious, so we gave her anxiety. She's anxious on a good day.
Yeah.
There's a reason she doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
So we're going to cover those today, and you can wrap it around whatever you want. But I am feeling a little, I moved her in Thursday, and though she made me crazy, and I wanted to kill her from the moment the senior year started, I look in the bedroom, and it's empty, and it's clean, which is
Weird.
highly unusual.
Yeah. Weird.
And even though she was out all the time, she just knowing she's not around.
Yeah. They come home.
They come home,
Yeah.
right? And she's not. And I'm just kind of like, oh, sad.
Yeah.
Tear dropped on my cheek. All right. Would you like to kick us off with a little
Sure.
anxiety?
Sure. I got this from clevelandclinic.org. Anxiety disorders are a group of mental health conditions that cause fear, dread, and other symptoms that are out of proportion to the situation.
Fear, dread.
I've never had this in my life. Every time they're like, why would you think that? And I'm like, I don't know. Don't you always think that? And they're like, why? Why would you ever think that that's going to happen? I'm like, I don't know. Don't you think the worst possible scenario ever?
You do go dark real quick.
All the time.
Real quick. Yeah.
It's just what I do.
We're going to go out to breakfast and you'd be like, well, why would you do that? I mean, you could choke on that hamburger. Why would you do that? Like, why are you going to eat that? And you start,
Yeah. Dark real quick. Anxiety itself is normal. Anxiety itself is healthy for you,
it is
actually.
healthy. It's your body's way of saying, watch out.
Yep. You may be anxious when starting a new job, going somewhere by yourself, giving a speech, like, normal things that should cause anxiety. And it actually helps you stay safe and focused. Like, it helps you focus on what you need to do. But anxiety disorders go beyond that good type of anxiety and fear. An anxiety disorder occurs when, 1, anxiety interferes with your ability to function. 2, your reactions are overreactions. And 3, you can't control your responses to situations. All ages can experience anxiety disorders. Women are twice as likely to have an anxiety disorder.
I believe that.
I literally asked Mike one day, he was saying something like, have you never been anxious about anything in your life? He's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, how can you control it? And he's like,
I
no.
saw Mike a little anxious at the Cliffs of Moher.
He gets, but that's like good. I think that's the good
That's the body
nervous.
saying,
like,
don't go
that's
to
your
the
body
edge.
going, hey, don't
But
go
he's
near
a little
that.
anxious then, I'd say.
But like about he doesn't make scenarios up in his head and
No, he
then
does
worry
not do
about
that.
them.
No,
all
he
night.
does not do
that. Types of anxiety disorders. There are quite a few. There's generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD. This causes fear, worry, and a constant feeling of being overwhelmed. It's characterized by excessive, frequent, and unrealistic worry about everyday things such as chores, job responsibilities, and health. I do not have that.
I
worry
have that
about
either.
complete made-up situations.
I used to worry about waking up in my coffin.
Oh. No, I like... It's literally scenarios I just make up. And then I
Worry about them
perseverate on
and they're never going to happen.
Panic disorder involves multiple unexpected panic attacks. The main feature is attacks occur while the attacks occur without warning. Like, you're not like, oh, I'm worried about this, I'm worried
just
about this,
all
and
that
then have an
comes out of
attack.
nowhere.
It's just all of a sudden you have an anxiety attack. And they are not due to other mental health or physical conditions. There's specific phobias, which is actually the name of the disorder is specific phobias.
I.e.
A phobia is when something causes you to feel fear or anxiety that is so severe it consistently and overwhelmingly disrupts your life. There are hundreds of different types of phobias, but only one diagnosis for all of those phobias is specific phobias.
I mean, I have phobias, but they don't debilitate me.
Like, you're afraid of spiders, but if you were in a room with a spider,
I'm not going to lose my shit. Yeah.
Or be afraid, like, oh, that's a basement. There's probably a spider. I can't go down there.
Right.
But there's one phobia, only one, agoraphobia, has its own diagnosis.
Which is the fear of spiders, isn't it?
No,
that's being outside.
It's yeah. That's the only one that has a separate diagnosis. All the other ones are all under specific
Arachnophobia spiders. That's
Agoraphobia is characterized by symptoms of anxiety in situations where the person feels their environment is unsafe with no way to escape. This can include public transit, malls, crowds, or just being outside of their own homes. My principal in elementary school had agoraphobia.
But how do they go out and go to school?
He worked, and then all of a sudden he was gone. And he was in his house for years.
Really?
Yeah. They had to have, like, the vice principal just took over, and he was
Weird,
the nicest
huh?
guy, but he had severe agoraphobia. This is bouncing everywhere.
I don't want to be, and she's talking about the curler on the
curler
top of her head, not just, I don't want to be in my house all the time.
No, but it's not, they don't want to.
I know, but
they're so afraid.
But they're just, imagine just being in your home.
No, I can't. I can't imagine being that afraid to just step
leave
outside.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's awful. And then the social anxiety disorder. This occurs when you feel excessive anxiety when you are separated from a loved one. Social anxiety disorder. I'm sorry. Separation anxiety disorder occurs when you feel like excessive anxiety when you are separated from a loved one. Separation anxiety in babies and toddlers, totally normal stage. It's a healthy
What
stage
about
to
an
go
adult
to.
with 2 kids out of the house?
Yeah. But separation anxiety disorder can affect kids and adults. And it can also affect, like, little kids. Like, people say, oh, they have separation anxiety. But if they are, like, inconsolable, it's going on for years. Like, they can't get past, like, I have to leave my mother, then it's
A bigger problem.
a bigger problem. And adults can have this. There's selective mutism. This happens when you don't talk in certain situations because of fear and anxiety. It usually affects young children, but can also affect adolescents and adults. My son knows, like, 2 people with this.
My girlfriend's son had it.
Mm-hmm. Anxiety disorders are some of the most common mental health conditions. Specific phobias affect 12% of the U.S. population. Separation anxiety disorder affects 7% of the U.S. population. Wow. GAD, or the generalized anxiety, affects 3% of the U.S. population. Agoraphobia affects 1.7%, which I thought was so high. Like, you never hear of any. I mean, other than my principal. Really?
Yeah.
You don't hear of it.
You don't hear of it because they're inside.
I know, but you would think my mother won't leave her house. My cousin
nobody's
won't leave her
talking
house.
about it.
No
I just think people aren't talking about it.
Separation anxiety. I'm sorry. Social anxiety disorder affects 7% of the population. Separation anxiety disorder affects 4% of children, 1.6% of adolescents, and 1.9% of adults. Separation anxiety.
Yeah.
And selective mutism is the least common anxiety disorder, and it affects between 0.47 and 0.76% of the U.S. population. Symptoms vary depending on the type of disorder, but common, like, psychological symptoms include feeling of being on edge or extremely irritable, uncontrollable obsessive thoughts. That's what I have. Feeling of dread or panic, and difficulty concentrating. Physical symptoms include restlessness, heart palpitations, shortness of breath, muscle tension, cold or sweaty hands, dry mouth, nausea, numbness or tingling in hands or feet, and insomnia. Researchers don't know exactly what causes these disorders, but a combo of factors probably play a role. There's chemical imbalances. There's several neurotransmitters and hormones that play a role in anxiety, including norepinephrine, serotonin, dopamine, and gamma aminobutyric acid. Well, I don't know why I picked these things. Yeah.
That was awesome.
An imbalance in these chemicals can lead to anxiety disorders. There could be brain changes. The amygdala plays an important role in managing your fear and anxiety. And people with anxiety disorders show an increase in amygdala activity in response to their anxiety. So they have something going on with their amygdala.
Firing over there.
And anxiety disorders tend to run in families, so it suggests that it is genetic.
I do think it's a little behavioral as well, too, because if your mother loses her shit all the time and doesn't know how to calm herself down and get her shit together, you're going to act the same way.
There's losing your shit, and then there's literally your hair falling out from being so nervous
that's
all the
extreme.
time. You know, like
right.
there's behavior, but then there's
I think mental illness in any way is hereditary.
Like if you just have obsessive thoughts, like
right,
your kid isn't just going to get upset, like
right,
unless they have something. You may be at an increased risk of developing an anxiety disorder if a first-degree relative has one. Environmental factors can also help cause anxiety disorders. Severe or long-lasting stress, like if you were in some terrible situation, you you were always under a stressful situation for a long time, that can contribute to developing an anxiety disorder, as can experiencing just like one traumatic event, as they can change the balance of neurotransmitters. So if you are in some terrible situation, that can change your neurotransmitters, which can lead to a anxiety disorder. To diagnose an anxiety disorder, your doctor will take a history and physical to rule out any physical conditions that can cause these symptoms, because sometimes like hyperthyroidism can cause some of these symptoms.
Yes.
If no physical conditions are found, a mental health professional will complete an interview about your symptoms, behaviors, and sleeping habits, and typically base the diagnosis on your reported symptoms and their intensity and length. Like if you were just, had a bad month and they're like, well, you just had a lot of stuff this month. Right. Like they might not diagnose you with the disorder, but if it's like
constant,
it's been a while and there was no trigger event,
I'm
or
having
whatever.
panic attacks.
Yeah.
And
a discussion on how they interfere with your life. Like if you feel like this, but you live your normal life, you might not have a disorder, but if you like can't do certain things, or it affects your mood or whatever, and your observed behavior, like during the interview, like I bite my face all the time. Like they're probably like, oh, she's probably a little worked up.
It's the shaking. That's
the leg, constant leg shaking. I think that's my
your trigger.
No, my hyperness.
The leg always going.
Yeah. You cannot discipline yourself out of an anxiety disorder. Like people like, I just won't think about it. Like
no,
you cannot do that. You cannot just change your attitude or get over it. If you have a severe phobia, if you have an actual disorder, you can't just stop being afraid of it on your own. Anxiety disorders must be treated like any other disorder. Usually treatment includes a combination of meds and psychotherapy, which is just talk therapy. It sounds like some terrible thing that a psychologist is going to do to you. It's talk therapy. Meds for anxiety include, like when you say
why is that terrible?
No, it sounds like, I think when people hear psychotherapy, they think like they're going to put something on my head and like shock me or something. Yeah. It's literally talk therapy. So meds include antidepressants like SSRIs and SNRIs, as they can improve your mood and reduce stress. Even though they're normally used for antidepressants, they work really well with anxiety. Benzodiazepines like
benzodiazepines,
clonazepam, diazepam, lorazepam, all the Pams.
All the Pams. Pam and her friends.
They may decrease your anxiety, panic, and worry quickly. Like you take it and you, woof, I don't feel worried about anything.
Oh, I need some of that shit.
Yeah, but you can build up a tolerance, and they have addiction potential. Yeah. So it's for like, you are like
losing it.
You can't get on a plane.
Right.
You can take this, get on the plane. Beta blockers can be used to treat some physical symptoms like rapid heartbeat, shaking, and trembling, but it doesn't at all it doesn't treat any of the psychological symptoms. CBT, or cognitive behavior therapy, is the most commonly used with anxiety disorders for psychotherapy. It helps you recognize thought patterns and behaviors that lead to anxiety, and then work on changing the thoughts and reactions to triggers. And then exposure therapy can also be used. A mental health provider will create a safe environment to expose you to your fears. If you're afraid of
spiders, they're going to put you in a room full of spiders.
They might put just a glass cage with a spider, and then, go more and more. It can help show that you are capable of confronting your fears, making you more comfortable with the fears. If left untreated, anxiety disorders can lead to serious complications. It can lead to difficulty with social situations and a decreased quality of life. Substance abuse disorders, major depressive disorder, suicide, and constant anxiety can also cause, it can also increase your risk of cardiac events. If your heart is always racing, it's going to, the muscle walls are going to lose their strength, and you're going to cause harm to your actual heart. And that's it on anxiety.
So I tried to confront my fears once of heights, because I hate heights, as we know. Mm-hmm. And I was at an amusement park with my brother, and we went on this ride that takes you as high as you could possibly go, and you're in like a hang gliding harness.
I did this.
I passed out at the top.
You passed out.
I passed out. Yep. And my brother, who can be a complete asshole when he wants to be, had mercy on me and did not fuck with me while I was up there, and just pulled the thing. And then as I started getting close to the ground and realized I wasn't going to die, then I kind of like woke up and I was like, oh, this is great. But yeah, no, I really can't confront my fears.
You're like those girls in that ball thing.
Yes,
you ever see those?
I passed out, but I wasn't even like the G-force that I passed out.
Yeah.
It was from being up high.
Stacy and I did that at some amusement park. We were with my mother. I think we were looking at schools like in the South for her, like for colleges. And we went to this amusement park and they had that. And you had to like pay extra to do it. And we went and did it. And we were like, oh, yeah, that looks really fun. And my mother's standing there and going, my mother's afraid of everything. Right. And she's like, oh my gosh, like I just put them up there and we're strapped. And there was some random girl with us. There was 3 of us on it.
Yeah, because it's 3 across.
Yeah. So like some random girl and us too. So we're going up. And we're like, holy shit, this is high. Like it was really high. So we get up to the top and someone has to pull the cord.
Yes.
So we're like, you're pulling it to the girl by herself. And she's like, I don't want to pull it. I go, you're pulling it. Where's it?
Pull it. No, I'm going to kill you.
She pulled it. You couldn't even
get a
scream out.
Yes.
When you dropped. Yes. It was so hot. Like
because you were
came out
literally
until you were like up the arch. And then you were like, oh, like what? It was
because it's like you're plummeting to the ground.
You are just looking at the ground and you're going.
And it's coming at you really fucking fast.
Nothing came out until we started
It didn't help me. It didn't help my fear of heights
I didn't think that would.
At all. No, it might have made it worse. But I thought I'd try. Yeah, I do try to confront them.
You shouldn't do this kind of therapy by yourself.
By myself.
You should do it with a therapist. Yeah. Just saying.
Well, I did go to the top of the Freedom Tower. I did okay.
You wouldn't go near the windows.
Nope. But I did go. I did
you stood in the very middle of the building.
That's going to save me. I don't know how. But like
the steel beam might be under you there.
When we went to Spain, we did this trail walk.
Yeah.
The Caminito del Rey. Mm-hmm. And it's basically wood planks jammed onto the side of a cliff and a little tiny wire that you hold on to as you walk
for dear life. Like that's going to do anything.
And that's what I held on to thinking like, and I'm literally, as I'm walking this, because if you look between the planks, you can see a sheer drop.
1,000 feet below
1,000 feet below you. So I'm holding on to this and I'm thinking, okay, if the planks go down, I'll be able to catch myself. I don't know how long I can hold on. Am I going to be able to hold on until somebody comes out and gets us? Because that's going to be hours.
Yeah, and everyone's hanging on
and
to this wire.
Maybe, because some people may be caught by surprise and just go down, which means
Vienna
my kids...
was just looking over the edge.
Right.
Vienna was gone.
So my kids are dead.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I looked at pictures of it after we came back and thought, wow, I put my kids on that.
Yeah.
Can I say, you mentioned the Cliffs of Moher?
Yeah.
On that walk, I never felt anxiety. Not once.
You didn't go on it?
No, the Caminito del Rey.
What?
I looked down, I was like...
Oh, it stressed the shit out of me. You know, because that little...
I was in a full panic the whole time.
I think I've matured.
Sam tripped, and I almost dove on top of him. He tripped.
That little tiny helmet they gave us was going to save my life if I plummeted 1,000 feet.
I think that was just for the rock.
That was something.
That was
something. All right. So with anxiety, that's usually its partner in crime is depression. Mm-hmm. My information's from Mayo Clinic. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayo Clinic, depression. Which, when I joke that my kid is in college and I'm a little depressed, it is nothing to what these people are going through. Nothing, even a little bit. Back in the day when I had my first child, I had a little bit of baby blues that lasted a couple of days. Again, I can't ever say I am anything where these people are at, and my heart goes out to them. Okay. Major depressive disorder. It is a mood disorder that causes persistent feeling of sadness or loss of interest. It affects how you think, feel, and behave. You may have trouble doing normal day-to-day activities, and you might feel like life isn't worth living. Yeah. I have trouble doing day-to-day, depending on what it is, like getting up and going to work, just because I don't want to go. But I could find other things that would entertain me just fine.
Right. I think that's pretty much like anything. Like nothing piques their interest.
Right. It's not something you can just snap out of, and it can require long-term treatment. Symptoms. Feelings of sadness, tearfulness, emptiness, or hopelessness. Angry outbursts, irritability, or frustration, even over small matters. What made me laugh when I was doing this is because it's literally either or. You're either sad and think, oh, you're angry in your outburst. Either don't want to do anything or you can't stop doing anything. It was like back and forth. It was the opposite of everything. Loss of interest in or pleasures in most or all normal activities, i.e. sex, hobbies, or sports. Sleep disturbances, you're either insomnia or you sleep all the time.
Yeah.
Tiredness, lack of energy. They do say like these people will be in bed for days. Yeah. Like that's a huge sign of depression. If somebody you love can't get out of bed, that's a problem. Small tasks take huge effort, reduced appetite, weight loss, or increased craving for foods and weight gain.
I was going to say, when I'm upset about, I don't have depression, but when I'm upset about something, I just,
And I'm the exact
I
opposite. If I'm upset, it's like there's a knife in my stomach and I can't eat anything.
yeah, no, I'm like a bottomless pit.
But when I'm happy, watch out. I'll eat all day long. Anxiety, agitation, restlessness, slow thinking, speaking, or body movements. Feelings of worthlessness, guilt, fixation on past failures or self-blame. Trouble thinking or concentrating. Trouble making decisions or remembering things. Frequent or recurring thoughts of death, suicidal thoughts, attempts, or an actual suicide. Excuse me. I guess if you've committed suicide, we can diagnose you with depression. Yeah. Unexplained back pain or headaches. So this is like...
Maybe I am depressed.
I'm telling you, there are people out there, and you've been across them, where they always have a nondescript issue.
Yeah.
Where they can't go somewhere because, oh, my stomach. It's always my stomach. I have these headaches. But there really is nothing to diagnose it. And they avoid all kind of social interaction over this issue that's never been diagnosed. Children and teens can look different. Young kids, they can look with sadness, irritability, clinginess, worry, aches and pains. These are the kids that are at the nurse's office every single day. They always have stomach pains. Refusing to go to school, being underweight. Teens, there'll be sadness, irritability. This is tough because teens are like this all the fucking time anyway.
Day.
Sadness.
When they're really happy.
Yeah,
like
they're all over the place. Yeah. They're one big walking hormone that just doesn't know what to do with itself. Sadness, irritability, feeling negative and worthless, anger, poor performance, poor attendance at school, feeling misunderstood and extremely sensitive. Oh, have a teenage daughter. Using drugs or alcohol, eating, sleeping too much, self-harm, loss of interest. I mean, these are extreme.
Yes, we joke teenagers are moody, but this isn't
this
moody.
Is extreme. You would know this. Loss of interest in normal activities, avoidance of social interaction. Elderly. Elderly, depression is not a normal part of growing old, and it should not be taken lightly. So if you see an elderly, this is tough because memory difficulties or personality changes. You see that a lot anyway with elderly. Right. Physical aches or pains. Again, you're going to see that because you're old. Fatigue, loss of appetite, sleep problems, loss of interest in sex. Wanting to stay home instead of socializing, suicidal thinking or feelings, especially in older men. One of the very first trauma craniotomies I had where we work, I was brand new and like a 90-year-old guy shot himself in the head.
I know. I hate when they do. I feel like I've had a few elderly men that have done that.
And like we brought him up to the OR. We opened up all of the supplies for the OR. They threw an island onto the hole and that was it. And I was like, you brought him all the way up here. So you close the hole. If you were going to put you could have done this downstairs. Yeah. Exactly. And what are you going to do? Are you going to bring this guy back? He's 90. He was poor guy. So risk factors, certain personality traits, like somebody who's always got low self-esteem, who's too dependent on people, who's too self-critical or pessimistic. They've had severe trauma or stressful event like sexual abuse, death of a loved one, difficult relationships, financial problems. God, listen to Dave Ramsey. You'll hear it all day long. Yeah. Blood relatives with a history of mental illness. You're going to see in all the mental disorders. It can be genetic. History of other mental disorders. You have anxiety. You have, list them out. You abuse alcohol or drugs is going to cause depression. Serious chronic illness, like you have cancer, you've had a stroke, you're paralyzed, you became a quad. God, I would be beside myself if I had any of those. Certain medications can trigger it. You can't prevent depression, but there are ways to help. You take steps to control your stress. You reach out to family and friends. You get treatment at the early signs.
Which is hard when you don't want to do anything, when you don't want to go anywhere.
Exactly. It really, I think, sometimes falls on family and friends to recognize, because they're not going to recognize it. And you're going to be like, you're in a deep depression. Like, you haven't bathed in days. You haven't gotten out of that bed. It's time. So they will diagnose it. You can have a physical exam. They're going to ask questions about your health. It may be linked to an underlying health problem. They do lab tests. They're going to give you a psych eval. They're going to ask you about your symptoms, thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. You may fill out a questionnaire. And they put you on that diagnostic and statistical manual of mental, DSL. Yeah, they're going to put you on that. All right. Symptoms we've talked about that can cause it. Anxious distress, depression is usually Depression with unusual restlessness or worry about possible events or loss of control. That's your anxiety, which you were just talking about. You can have mixed features, which is you have depression and mania, which includes elevated self-esteem, talking too much, increased energy, which I think is Laura. Melancholic features. Severe depression with lack of response to something that used to bring pleasure and associated with early morning awakening. Your mood is worse in the mornings, major changes in appetite, and you have feelings of guilt, agitation, or sluggishness. You can have atypical features. It can include the ability to be temporarily cheered by happy events, increased appetite, excessive need for sleep, sensitivity to rejection. This is so hard because these could be anything.
Either or.
You could have psychotic features, which your depression has delusions, hallucinations, which may involve personal inadequacy or other negative themes. You could have catatonia, which you're just uncontrollable and purposeful movement or fixed or inflexible posture. You're just doing nothing. Peripartum onset, postpartum depression, or seasonal, which is sad, which we've talked about, which I get. I'm getting sad today. Mm-hmm. You can have bipolar 1 or 2, which is the mania versus the depression. Mm-hmm. Cyclothymic disorder. It involves highs and lows that are milder than those of bipolar. Disrupted mood dysregulation disorder. This is in children. It includes chronic and severe irritability and anger with frequent extreme temper outbursts. It typically develops into depressive disorder or anxiety during the teen years. Persistent depressive disorder, sometimes called dysthmia. It is less severe but more chronic form of depression. It's not disabling. It's a persistent disorder, and it can prevent you from functioning normally. Premenstrual dysphoric disorder. Don't we all have that, sister?
PMDD.
Depressive symptoms, hormone changes begin a week before and improve with the few days. I mean, God bless these people, transgender. You really want the full experience? Let's give them fucking pair of ovaries. Nobody will want to do it after they have a pair of ovaries. I'll tell you what. And then, on the other end, you get to go through menopause. That's a fucking great time, too. Okay. So those are some of the things. The medications they can give you are the SSRIs, SNRIs, atypical depressants, tricyclic antidepressants. They can also do like ECT treatments, which I think we talked about in another episode. When I did my psych rotation, one of the patients, when I saw her in the beginning, it was a 6-week rotation. She was like catatonic. She was walking around the hallways, and then we gave her an ECT treatment. By the end, you could actually have a conversation with her. And she was like, when I came in here, every moment of every day, all I thought about is how am I going to kill myself? How am I going to kill myself? She's like, after these treatments, I don't think about it at all
They
anymore.
say that ECT,
it does work.
It can work really well. Yeah.
I mean, it's rough to watch. I shouldn't even say it's rough to watch. I know what they're doing. They anesthetize them. It's nothing like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by any means. And it works. And it just shocks me still that it works. Because it just seems like such a wild treatment, but it works. So, for all you parents out there who just sent their kids off to college, to the military, to whatever else, and you're feeling a little sad, feeling a little anxious, we got you back. Yeah. We got you covered.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Get
they're
help.
going to live their best life.
Get help.
Yeah, they're going to live their best life out there. So let them live it. I haven't heard from her in days. So I think she's having a good time.
Yeah.
So that's that. Welcome to the fall. We're always looking for suggestions. Feel free to write them in. We love to hear from you. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
We do have an email, right?
Like, subscribe, rate, and review the Scissors and Scrubs podcast on whatever podcast app you listen to us on. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Scissors and Scrubs. And email us any of your stories or thoughts to scissorsandscrubs@gmail.com.